Hello, guys. Welcome to the True Red Devil channel and the Sports Capital. From now on, I will be doing streaming on both my channel and Sports Capital. Thanks to Munnsey. Today, it's pretty much we're just going to talk about the Ronaldo saga and also about the Glazier situation. As always, everybody knows Manny, top guy on here. How you doing, Manny?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Just have to catch my breath. I mean, I just finished the stream for the Spain watch along and came straight over here, and I
Yeah.
hope you can appreciate that I haven't forgotten about you. You know
No, no,
me,
no,
I'll keep my
cool.
word.
No, yeah, no, cool. Even though I did message you, but yeah, I completely forgot that you could be doing stream. And I've got a good friend from America who's making his debut today. Hello, Ken. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good. Just got done watching Spain. We're gonna watch Belgium. Waiting for tomorrow. Some good games tomorrow.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start. Obviously, Ronaldo got the sack yesterday. Don't care what anyone says. It wasn't a mutual decision. He got the sack. From as everybody knows, I've been Ronaldo out since the Spurs game, so I ain't bothered too much about it. I, he can get lost in my eyes. I thought it was hilarious what the English FA has done today, fining him and banning him for 2 games for the attack on the Everton fan. So if he goes to an English club, he'll miss the first 2 games. But then I'm not so sure because I'm thinking that he won't be able to join them until the window opens, and then obviously they'll already play 2 league games. I'm not sure, but Ken, why don't you start us off? What do you think about the whole Ronaldo saga?
You know, I'm not sad to see him go. I'm not sad to see him go. I was not a fan of him coming back originally. And I know that everyone and myself were grateful that he scored 18 goals last year or whatever it was and helped us at least be a little competitive, but he's just been a problem. He's been a problem for a long time. He's throwing fits. I mean, makes $500,000 a week. Okay. If it was any other player or any other person, they'd be expected to honor their contract and not have a tirade, right?
Yep.
I didn't know about the fine. I didn't know that they suspended him 2 games, but we don't get the news the same here as you get there. So, yeah, I'm not sad to see him go. The sooner the better, honestly. He's just bad chemistry for us.
Yes, agree. Manny, obviously as an Arsenal fan, Ronaldo leaving United obviously will only affect you if he joins Arsenal. Obviously, as everybody knows, Manny, you're a top football fan. So, what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, listen, I don't really want to say too much about it that hasn't already been said. Whatever I say is going to be repetitive. I think it's
Mhm.
fair to say that what really disappointed me about him doing what he did was that there were signs of things improving. You know, after he served his apprenticeship, I mean his penance, if you will, not apprenticeship, his penance by
Mhm.
missing the Chelsea game and training on his own. He was, of course, reintegrated and given the captaincy for the Aston Villa game, and then things just weren't really working. And what really angered me as well, David, is that, you know, for a guy of his experience, you would think he would know better than to just throw his toys out of the pram like that,
Yes.
because obviously, when he was playing for Portugal, and certainly, you know, when he broke into the team, I know Luis Figo was still playing quite well, but there were a few other senior players who were, you know, relegated to the bench, certainly
Yeah.
in favour of him. And I think, you know, when Figo wound down his career in 2006, it was Ronaldo who was getting more of the games at that World Cup ahead
Mhm.
of him anyway. So he should have known the score. And I mean, obviously, he has belief in his ability and he still keeps himself quite fit. But sometimes you have to accept that if the coach doesn't believe that you are up to it, you know, sometimes you have to sort of accept that, and just take your lumps. And certainly, his refusal to come on against Tottenham was really bad because although the game was already won with about 2 minutes to go. Maybe he felt that he didn't just want to come on for a glorified jog around, but to just walk away like that. It was disgraceful. I will say again that there is still a lot of stuff concerning him that we don't really quite know. I mean, there might have been, there's always more than meets the eye in cases like this, but maybe if he had just bided his time and just gone to the World Cup as a nice holiday to free himself from Manchester United, if you will, and just enjoy the session with Bruno and Diogo and his other teammates, he could have come back with a newer frame of mind. But everything he did, just like with the Roy Keane interviews in 2002 to the Irish journalist, and in 2005 with Manchester United's official television channel. Yeah. It was calculated. It was cold. They knew exactly what they're doing. And it looks to me as though Keane and Ronaldo are peas in the pod.
Yes.
I think they sort of seem to be the type of people who believe that because they maintain supposedly high standards of professionalism and talent and ability, they have a right to expect their word to be respected all the time. But, Keane basically showed that he had no morals. And as far as Ronaldo was concerned, well, I mean, I want to be diplomatic and try and say that maybe he does have some decent points. I mean, his criticism of Maguire not eating at that Italian restaurant was, spot on, in my opinion, because you don't go to an Italian restaurant and hand the waiter, some toast and eggs to be soft boiled and enjoy your soldiers and some custard. I mean, I get wanting to sort of stick to a diet, but if Ronaldo could keep himself fit and be a poster boy for nutrition and still want to enjoy a nice Italian meal, seriously, Harry, mate, you need to, broaden your horizons.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I mean, guys, anyone watching, put your comments in, what you think of Ronaldo, etc., and I'll read them out. Manny, would you have him at Arsenal?
Nope. If he wasn't able to adapt to Ten Hag's 4-2-3-1 and the high line, he won't have a chance with Arteta's formation.
Yep,
and that's the least of the problems.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I also don't think Arteta could probably handle him as well. I mean, to be honest, I don't think there's many managers out there that probably would. Pep being one, but he ain't going to go City. I'd be very surprised if he does. People are talking about him going to Chelsea, and I think Potter won't be able to handle him. So it's going to be interesting. To be honest, he could go anywhere. He could go to Liverpool. I won't care. I mean, Ashton United have actually turned down a chance of signing him. They put a tweet out earlier on. Ashton United, I don't know what league they're in. They're in the non-league anyway. They said they are not signing Ronaldo because they don't need him or whatever. So, big game player, and he can't even get a game at Ashton United. So, if Ashton United don't want him, I don't think the likes of Bayern Munich, Barcelona, etc., are going to want him either. So he may have to go abroad or somewhere. I don't know, but I mean, I've got obviously only an hour, so obviously the other news is the Glazers. Apparently, they're going to put United up for sale. Thing is, I've heard this many times before, and they still stay here. And I'm gonna be completely honest, guys. I'm on the fence with this. People are going, oh, it's because it's Ronaldo's interview and all this crap. And somebody who owns a big, massive company is not going to decide a couple of days after something that they're going to sell. It's going to be months in advance. And if people want to kiss Ronaldo's arse and say, oh, it's because of the interview, fine, but you're not a United fan. I feel that they were going to sell. So anyway, I sort of don't want them to leave for that reason. But I do want him to. I want them to leave. I've always wanted them to leave, but I just don't want them leaving and people going, oh look. But I don't think it'll be the true United fans. I think it'd be more Ronaldo FC fans, and to be honest, they mean fuck all anymore now because Ronaldo's left United. Yes, I would have them leave, but then what people don't realise as well is that we could get rid of the Glaziers and whoever comes in, if it's Elon Musk, Facebook, Donald Trump, Mohammed from Iraq, whatever. Who's to say that they're not going to be even worse than the Glaziers? So people are like, yeah, we'll get rid of the Glaziers, but this doesn't mean that it's going to be more sunny on the other side. So keeping the Glaziers, who we know is shit, might not even be a bad idea. So hopefully that the Glaziers won't really care who they sell to as long as they get the money. But we need to try and make sure that we get the right owners, and somebody who's going to be at the club needs to tell the Glazers, no, fuck off, you're not selling to that clown. I mean, I've even seen people going, Ronaldo's going to buy United. Seriously, if that happens, I think I'll leave United. So, yeah, Ken, what's your opinion?
The devil you know might just be better than the devil you don't. Exactly. Right? The Glazers. The world economy right now is really what's driving this. If you look at a $4 billion club and a company like the Glazers have put together, Ronaldo's just an asset. He's just it was a money-making scheme from them from the jump. They couldn't let him go to City, right? So they had to shell out the money, and it paid off for them. I mean, they used him for what they wanted him for, and now that he's gone, it has nothing to do with why the Glazers are talking about getting out. Mm-hmm. They know that Old Trafford needs a lot of work. The training facilities need a lot of work. Our academy program needs a lot of work, and they're going to have to spend big to make that happen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, whoever comes in, though, they saddled us with a lot of debt. That debt is going to have to go away, right? And honestly, we need Arsenal. Look at Arsenal. We need someone running the program that's going to go down the direction that Arsenal has gone, and City. The way that we've been run for the last 17 years has put us in a hole. I mean, this is the first transfer window really where we were really successful in bringing in someone that has changed our program. Yeah. I mean, Bruno, right? But other than that, Jojo didn't play and he went out on loan. It's just been a mess. And Ten Hag is changing the game. We're changing the infrastructure, but this all looked to me all along like a plan to sell United.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is real. I think that they're going to sell them. But like you said, who knows who we get? It could be bad, right? Mm-hmm. And Liverpool's up for sale at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Fenway Group hasn't sold them yet. So you have two of the premier clubs on the planet up for sale at the same time. But Dubai would probably lean towards us, I think, because of the stature of owning it. I mean, they have so many resources, bro.
Yes. Just gonna Oris talks football. Nice for you to join us, mate. Breaking news: Sir Jim Ratcliffe will bid for Manchester United after the Glazers formally put the club on the market. This has just literally come out about 5 minutes ago. I'm sort of not leaning towards Jim, to be honest. There's just something about him. He doesn't seem like somebody who can run a football club. Just some of the stuff he's been saying or some of the stuff that he's done. I'm not saying I won't trust him, but I don't know if he'd be a success. And after the Glazers, we need somebody that it's not the success on the pitch that we've lacked, apart from the last, say, 10 years. We've lacked the success behind the scenes. So I don't know. I think I don't think Ratcliffe is the answer. Big up Hashim. Nice for you to join us. Hashim, would you have Ronaldo at Chelsea? So, I mean, people keep asking me who do I want to take over the Glazers, and I'm truly honest, I don't really know. I mean, I mean, like I said, I don't want Ratcliffe, I don't want Facebook, I don't want Elon Musk. I mean, Jesus Christ, why do I want Zuckerberg? The guy took my Facebook off me for posting 3 United shirts and said it was bloody nudity. So,
is that the rumor? Is that the rumor? Is that the rumor over there?
Facebook and Amazon.
Real. So, now, maybe Amazon, Facebook, he's resigning.
Yeah.
Word just came out Friday that he's going to resign from Facebook. He's not buying the football club.
No, well, I don't want that clown. So, yeah. Manny, obviously you're globally magnificent. I don't think there's anything bad I can say about you. Is there anyone who if you was a United fan, is there anyone who you'd like to see take over at United?
You know, here's the thing, David. I know that Ken did say better the devil you know than the devil you don't. But when I messaged you last night on this issue, I said the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. You know as well as I do that ever since the Glazers took over, the decline of the club has sort of been accelerated. And it's really only been thanks to Ferguson's own bloody mindedness that you've been able to win some titles and sort of keep yourself up there or thereabouts. After he left, David Moyes came in, was a disaster. Louis van Gaal only won an FA Cup. Mourinho won a couple of trophies. I think it was the Europa League and I think the League Cup, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
But since then, it's been, you know, very slim pickings. Ole came in and I thought did a wonderful job in his first season, finishing. I mean, I think he finished second and finished in the finished as runners-up in the Europa League. Although I think we can all agree that match should have been won by United. They never should have allowed Unai Emery's men to win that match, leave alone beat you lot on penalties. Yes. David De Gea, for all of how well he's performed, I think he will look back on that match and say he cost you lot big time. He cost Ole a trophy. And so here's the thing. I mean, I get that you are apprehensive about the future, and there's always going to be this idea of, will the new person be better? What other option do we have? But I'm going to say, you know what? There needs to be a change. There needs to be an approach, and there has to be an alternative to the same, same crap every single year. And I think there comes a time when you say, you know what, enough's enough. In the words of that famous song, we're not going to take it anymore. Mm-hmm. So I get your point when you say that the number of available owners might be slim. But you have to ask yourself, do you want to go out of the frying pan into the fire with another American owner who will, in all likelihood, be a penny pincher, who will want to keep his own wealth and focus more on his sports teams back across the Atlantic? Yep. Do you want do you want an Arab billionaire to come and take over with the baggage that they may claim, and especially in light of all the controversies going on in the world today? Do you potentially want another Russian player, who billionaire like Abramovich, who could, possibly come in, but also they're receiving some bad press? I say when you've got someone like Jim Ratcliffe, who, is born and brought up in the country, has a better understanding, at least in theory, of the English footballing culture than these Arabs and American owners or Russians can even hope to have. I say, why not? Sometimes you have to go down a different direction, and it might be something refreshing. Now, of course, I do know about Alan Sugar's involvement with Tottenham Hotspur and how under his stewardship, the club actually went through some financial dire straits. Mm-hmm. They even were docked some points during a Premiership season for irregular payments to their players, I believe. They were dropped 12, but that was reduced to 6. And that actually cost them in a way, in that they weren't able to, finish high enough in the table to secure a spot in European football that particular season.
What a shame.
So, yeah. But then, if you have someone who clearly... We had someone called Daniel Ek who was willing to, take Arsenal away from the crankies, as I call them. And he was willing to, at least in theory, make an attempt to buy it. All he had to do was stump up the cash. But then the Crankies turned around and said, nope, we're not going to sell. We want to keep this. I suppose in mitigating circumstances, the Crankies have started to spend a little bit more money because Josh has been in Stan's ear a bit more. But I still don't hold out much hope of the Crankies making enough progress in terms of spending to take our club forward. And even though we may have some decent looking infrastructure, because you went to the Emirates not too long ago to see your ladies beat our ladies, I think.
Yeah, 3-2, 3-2.
Yep. Well done. I'm not going to, engage in any banter. So you've seen the Emirates Stadium, and it does look good, but even there might be a few problems. So the new owner who comes in will have to commit to really seeing about a restructuring of the club from the bottom up and the top down. And if it's an English guy who apparently is a long-time fan of Manchester United, who understands the club very well, who might have an idea of the club's working class history, I say, why not take that chance? Maybe Ratcliffe has a sketchy record, but then, none of these billionaires who might want to take over the club can be considered to be squeaky clean anyway. So, if I were in your position, mate, I wouldn't want another American billionaire. I sure as hell wouldn't want any more Arab oil money. And as far as a Russian coming in, if any Russian tries to come in, I'll be sending him Russian back.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
So just go local. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd listen to Ratcliffe if I were you.
Yeah. Well, you know me, Manny. I always respect your opinion. Let me just go to the chats. Hashim says, Ronaldo is finished. I love his goals, but I hate the distraction he creates in dressing room, especially when in losing positions. Now, guys, this is a Chelsea fan that's saying this, and I can't believe that some United fans can't see it as a distraction, etc. He goes on and says, even if he was playing and we lost, he would still be unhappy. I saw it on a couple of occasions in games, and that's what I hate. The official will 007. I'm not a United fan, but I agree the Glazers should be out. And then with his next comment, I think he's an Arsenal fan. He goes 100% EK should take Arsenal from the Crankies.
It's not EK, it's Eck, Daniel Eck, who owns Spotify.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
How much would that cost? How much would that cost, Manny? How much for Eck to take over Arsenal?
Couldn't really tell you off the top of my head. Let me just do some research. I do seem to remember. Let me just search that. Look that up.
Yeah. So while you're doing that, I just want to say something about Ratcliffe. Obviously, I'm not going to say he's going to be dodgy or stuff like that, but I've just been reading in September 2020, he officially changed his tax residence from Hampshire to Monaco, a move that it is estimated will save him £4 billion in tax. So it sounds like he's a Jimmy Carr. It sounds like he's dodging his taxes. And to me, that's not good.
Yeah, I'd like to point out the thing that I like the idea of Ratcliffe being English, taking over United. My question, though, is $4 billion, right? So they're saying the number that the Glazers want is like 7, 8, 9 billion. That's never going to happen. I'm thinking maybe somewhere between 4 and 5.5. So say Ratcliffe puts that kind of money together, right? Mm-hmm. If he puts that kind of money together, will he have the cash flow to do the job that needs to get done next? That's the big question for me with whoever takes the company. They're going to have deep pockets to do all the projects that the fans want done, right? So Ratcliffe can put together a consortium of guys to buy the project. I get it. But does he have the money day in and day out to fund this the way that it needs to be funded? That's my biggest concern. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, David.
No. It's cool. It's a thingy, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I was talking to somebody earlier on, and I can't even remember who it was, to be honest. I don't even know if it's somebody who everyone knows. I don't even know if it was on Instagram or whatever. But somebody said to me, I think he said, who did I want, or are you happy with Glade anyway? And I said, it doesn't matter who takes over. It doesn't matter if it's Ratcliffe, Zuckerberg, anyone. It'll be more in 3-4 years when we find out if it was the right decision, because I can see whoever comes in will do everything he can to keep the fans happy. So he'll upgrade the training facilities. He'll upgrade Old Trafford. He'll buy the players. But because in all honesty, so did the Glaziers when they first came in. So it's going to be in about 3 or 4 years, I think, when we'll find out if these mean business. And so whoever takes over, if it happens, because as I said, we've been in time and time again. I won't be jumping on the bandwagon saying, "Oh, well done," because it's a marathon, not a sprint. And if they come in, improve Old Trafford, if they improve the training facilities, they give us the money to buy the players, etc., and we buy decent players, because it's not just about, because the Glazers have given us money to buy players, and that's something that people don't sort of realise. I mean, we spent 80 million on Harry Maguire, we spent 80 or 90 on Sancho, 80 on Pogba, and in all honesty, all three of them are over 200 million pound worth, and all of them have been shit.
That list is long. That list is very long.
Yeah, so people can criticise the Glazers all they want, but the Glazers have given us the money to buy the players, and unfortunately, whoever is deciding these players, they're just not good enough. Sancho, in my eyes, should be sold. I think he's been really poor. Everyone knows what my opinion on Pogba was, and Maguire, yes, he's 80 million, and I sort of feel that he's been used as a scapegoat too much. I honestly think he can play. He can play well for us. I mean,
played good the other day. Played really good the other day.
He did, yeah. I mean, people can go, "Oh, it was only Iran," but the 20th in the world, and if any Arsenal fan wants to come to me and say, "Well, Maguire was only playing against Iran," well, I'll be like, "Oh, well, okay, then we'll take those 2 goals off Saka then." It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was Iran or Bermuda, who I think Bermuda are probably like 150th in the world rankings.
I want Saka.
Yeah, Iran were used to the heat. England wasn't. So it was a good performance by England, and people shouldn't go, "Oh, it was just Iran," because you can only play what's in front of you, and you could say to the Saudi Arabia fans who, "Well, you only beat Argentina." So,
right.
Yeah. So you can only play what's in front of you. So anyone criticise and say, "Oh, it's just Iran," will jog on. Manny, obviously I've got half hour and I had to kill.
So we're gonna see England and America, the United States, on Friday.
Yes.
After watching both teams play, I honestly think that this is the opportunity for England to get the drive to go deep in this tournament. I'm guessing 4-0. I don't see the U.S. scoring. They're gonna drop deep, but honestly, I think that with Harry Kane and England's midfield, dude, England's gonna turn into a favorite here real quick if they just have a good match. And I think they will. They're gonna start to believe that they can do this, and all the media is gonna go away.
Well, Harry Kane might not even be playing. He's having a scan on his ankle, but to be honest, I don't think he'll be a loss. Manny, obviously Ken's American, so Manny, what do you think for the England USA game Friday?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm actually going to be a little bit more optimistic than our friend from across the Atlantic, because when I saw US play Wales, for example, I thought Greg Berhalter deserved credit for the way he was able to have his defenders and midfielders and attackers play to a plan. I thought Timothy Way in particular was absolutely outstanding.
It was good.
And the way he was able to run down that wing, obviously Serginho Dest gave him a lot of help. That 3-man midfield of yours, where you had I believe Tyler Adams in the centre, and Yunus Musa, the former England youth international, in among others. I thought they were able to harry and really press the Welsh team hard because Wales were completely caught cold.
Yeah,
And we've seen a lot of matches in this tournament where, I mean, I just got off a match right now where Spain were literally on the throttle from the get-go, and they never allowed Costa Rica to get a sniff in. And I think if England underestimate the US, then they could end up being in trouble. There is some talk about the possibility of Gio Reyna coming into the side. I think when Berhalter was asked about why he brought on the number 16, what was his name, Jordan Morris or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he brought him on because he thought he could lend some strength and power, which could find some opportunities. But someone like Reyna could come in and maybe add an extra dimension. In that sense, I don't think Kane will be a loss either, because Rashford obviously should come in, because if you lose out on Kane, you get Rashford in, and if he starts from the beginning, he also lends an extra dimension with the pace he brings. But that's up front. In the midfield, for example, that is where they could possibly overrun England, because although Bellingham has been outstanding and Rice has been more than decent, and Mount, despite probably not doing too much, has also fitted in quite well. If we're not careful, if there are some gaps in our formation, hopefully Southgate will play the 4-3-3. But if he doesn't, if he plays 3 at the back and 2 wing backs, then we could leave some gaps there. So it's not going to be as one-sided a game as you think. I actually think the US could cause a few shocks. I'm not looking beyond an England win either, but it's not going to be as heavy a win as people would predict. So I'm going to go for maybe something like a 3-1 win, because once again, Jordan Pickford won't keep a clean sheet. Timothy Weah, again, will probably continue where he left off by scoring past him, or it could be someone else who could find the net. But it'll be 3-1 because we have more goals in us, I think.
What side does Weah play? Right or left?
I think he was on the right. He was sort of trying to. It was basically Dest and Weston McKennie. The number 8. I was remembering now. McKennie from Juventus. Those 3 were basically linking up on the right and providing each other a lot of service. Dest was able to overlap beautifully. McKennie provided the solidity, and of course Weah with his run. It was a beautiful story because his dad George never got to play in the World Cup, so for him to play and score, albeit for the US, I think it's fair to say that his father would be very proud. It's as if the legacy he wanted to leave has been fulfilled by his son.
Yeah, with 2 cards early too. That's another thing people don't give credit to. We had 2 yellow cards in the midfield in the first 11 minutes. So, yeah.
I mean, with knowing that Weah's going to be playing on the right, I think he's going to have a quiet game, because Luke Shaw's going to pocket him. Because he's going to be up against Luke Shaw. If I was USA, I would move Weah to the left, and he'll do mincemeat out of Trippier. I do think USA have got some decent players. I don't think we're going to miss Kane. I really don't. Rashford should come in even if Kane plays. Mount shouldn't be playing. It should be folded in my eyes. I said this before, but I want to go back. Let me just do these. The official World 007 has gone 4-1 for England. King's Football Show, big up the panel. Thank you, King. And he also thinks England will win 3-0. I was watching a game at work Monday, even though I wasn't needed because nobody turned up. So I saw when Harry Kane got injured, and I actually did a video and posted it on my Instagram. And I literally said, this is what Southgate is stupid for. Going back to the Euros last year, Kane was shit in against Scotland and who else we played in the group. He was dog shit. And I'm like, especially Scotland game when we drew 0-0, we needed a goal. It wasn't coming from Kane. And he's your captain, but I'm sorry. If somebody's having a bad game, doesn't matter who it is, you should take him off. Especially like in the Euros, you had Calvert-Lewin, who had just come off a fantastic season for Everton. He played maybe 12 minutes, it's 17 minutes. And I'm like, so when he got the injury, I literally put out on my Instagram saying, okay, he's got an injury, he's got a little niggle. We were 3-4-0 up at that point. I'm like, take him off. And he didn't. He took him off maybe 10, 15 minutes later. And I'm sure I said it in the interview. I'm sure I said it in my video that if he left him on, which he did, it could aggravate the injury. So that possible. I mean, if we were winning I think even if we were winning 1-0, I still would have taken him off. It was it was Iran. It wasn't someone like Spain, Brazil, where, to be honest, we could have played probably anybody on Monday and probably still won. Again, I'm not taking anything away from Iran. I'm just saying that Iran are not someone like Brazil, where you do need your best players. So this is a problem that Southgate's got. He's just got a horrible problem of not taking players off when they're either shit or injured. And if Harry Kane has aggravated his injury even more, then it's only got Gareth Southgate to moan about. Manny, I'll come to you. I just want to say this. Hashim says 4-2, football's coming home. Germany lost, Argentina lost. We got to believe. Hashim, before we do that, let me just, because everybody knows that I'm club before country. I don't care about the World Cup. So for me, the last 16, I don't care if it's Qatar, South Korea, Tunisia, Costa Rica, USA, Cameroon, Saudi Arabia, Morocco, Senegal, Ghana, Australia, Japan, Iran, Switzerland, Poland, Canada. The reason being I chose those 16 teams. No United players play for them. Yes, before anyone corrects me, Hannibal plays for Tunisia, but he's on loan at the moment at Birmingham. So he won't be coming back to Manchester United anyway, so he could go on and Tunisia to win the World Cup. Hannibal win the World Cup. Yeah, I'd love to see Fred, Rashford, Maguire, people who I really appreciate at United winning the World Cup, because it'll do them. Yeah, sure. My brother from another mother. But the thing is, I'd rather them get knocked out early and come back to be United, because what people don't realise is we've got the World Cup final on the Sunday, and then on the Wednesday we've got the League Cup game, and people are saying it's only Burnley. Yes, but if we get say Brazil, England, Argentina, France in the semi-finals of the World Cup, none of them will be playing in that game, and that's like Anthony, Fred, Casemiro, Rashford, Shaw, Maguire. If it's Portugal as well, you've got Bruno, Dalot. So many players are going to be out injured, and it proved it the other week when Dalot was suspended. He's going to play Malacia on the right back, but if Shaw's there, I can't think of the team at the moment that's going to play if we have all these players going far in the World Cup.
It'll be Lindelof playing outside. Lindelof will play outside. That's what it's come down to. That's how deep we are. Not very deep.
But he's going to be needed. He's going to be needed for the centre, because if Argentina and England go far, Maguire and Martinez won't be back. So it's crazy. I want all the United players to come back nice and fit. And people going, oh, Burnley's going to be an easy game. In my opinion, it all depends on how many United players are back fit, because Burnley are not to be sniffed at, and they're doing well in the Championship at the moment. So if we have to play a misshaped team or a lot of the youngsters, I can see Burnley winning. I think the only really players that I know will be definitely playing will be De Gea, Lindelof, Garnacho, Sancho. Off the top,
and nobody even brought up Anthony. He's probably deep in the tournament.
Yeah, McTominay will play. And off the top, I mean, I don't want to go through the whole United team, but off the top of my head, they're really the only 4 or 5 where I could think they're going to be playing, because I can't think of many more that not at the World Cup.
Eriksen.
Yeah, so Manny, I was going to ask you a question now. I completely forgot what it was. What was I saying?
Manny, your goalkeeper, Matt Turner. Love that kid. Watched him this morning. Didn't touch a soccer ball till he was almost 15.
Ken, it's football here, mate.
I know.
Yeah, but I knew when it came out that it was going to get out quick. Yeah, I mean, look, I lived in America for 6 years. I was in Florida, and we had a Gulf Coast Schooners group over in Tampa. Used to catch them at Arsenal games whenever I could,
Nice.
over at a local bar in the area. Uh, Shout out, of course, to McDinton's on South Howard Avenue in Tampa. Miss you lot. And so, yeah, you can think of your question, David, but
Yeah, I can't think of it. I was saying something, and then I went off on. You know me, man. Once I get talking, I can't stop.
yeah, you digress a little bit. But
Yeah.
you know, for me, I mean, this is another reason why I hope I never see a World Cup in December again.
Oh, it's awful.
And the reason why is because, I mean, obviously, Ken, being an American, you'll know that with your season having come to an end, this is actually a good time for you lot because, you're in the middle of your rest and recuperation, if you will. Whereas normally, if the World Cup would be in the summer, it would be sort of in the middle of your season, peak, if you will. But the problem is, it's been held in the summer every single year. It still hasn't stopped the likes of Brazil, winning that 5 times. So I don't want to see a situation where we end up deciding to alternate having it, in December one time and in the summer the next. I think that would be utterly ridiculous. And certainly with everything going on in the Middle East, I think if it's fair to say that if we never see a World Cup being hosted by a Middle Eastern nation, it will be too soon. And I've got a lot of stick for this by a mutual friend who said, he's of Arabic origin, but now settled in the UK. And he said, we, given that the Westerners live in glass houses, they have no right to throw stones when it comes to talking about human rights themselves. But again, it's a classic case of whataboutery because, I don't really want to discuss politics, but in a nutshell, he was saying that football is supposed to be for everyone. And for me to say things like the Middle East should never get an opportunity to host the World Cup again is me being a little bit, elitist in a way. I told him, no, don't you dare call me an elitist. I wouldn't have minded necessarily football being hosted by a Middle Eastern country if the bid had been done the right way, and certainly if the country had any kind of football heritage of which to speak. I mean, you take a look at the likes of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Kuwait. They at least qualified for the World Cup in their history. And the UAE certainly would have had the wherewithal to host the tournament and provide a really good experience for people. But again, it's the scheduling that really angers me. And I think it's fair to say that the only thing you can do right now, David, is just make sure that you make the most of your squad and just try and patch up a team. Because I know, I appreciate the fact that you want to take that match quite seriously, but I also think that this is an opportunity for Ten Hag to really test his squad members out and see if they can be, trusted. Because obviously, if they're going to come back from the World Cup, I don't think any of those players, certainly not the likes of Rashford, certainly not Lisandro Martinez, should be expected to come back into that cauldron immediately. So it's
all depends when they get knocked out. Yeah,
what?
All depends when they get knocked out. I mean, Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia. If they don't get out of the group, they'll be coming home in a week's time. So it could be. So it all depends. Yeah,
I get that, but there's also a chance. I mean, here's the thing: at least Argentina know what they have to do. If they beat Mexico and Poland, they still qualify as group winners, unless Saudi Arabia get 2 other freak results and end up topping the group. I really don't see that happening because I followed Saudi Arabia for several years. 1994 was when they really peaked, and they've been absolute crap since. They've overachieved with their win over Argentina. And I think we should put things into perspective. There are going to be a few shocks in the first week of the tournament, but that's because a lot of the big teams are also feeling their way in. We saw with Germany today, but Argentina's still looking good shape. Germany, not so much, because the way Spain have played, they could end up, providing Germany some cause for concern. And Japan also are certainly not to be taken lightly. Head-to-head record could come into play. So there are going to be some issues. But, for me, in contrast to you, I love the World Cup. But the fact that it's being hosted the way it is, I mean, it's a bit underwhelming for me. You're not seeing me post about results on my stories on social media as such. So I'm just doing my duty as, a co-host for different channels, providing watch-alongs and so forth. So it is what it is. But,
yep.
yeah, and again, I just hope that obviously this tournament will get over well, and the players in question will be, injury free, and they'll come back fit, and they will be able to have some periods of rest because that's going to be important. So,
Yeah.
any of those World Cuppers who go far, if Lisandro and Argentina go far, he needs to be rested. Simple as that.
I
Same
agree.
thing goes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've put a banner up. I'm probably the only one thinking this. But Ken, what do you think of the banner? Do you think it will happen?
Wow. Will it happen? It could happen. It could happen. I could see Brazil going deep. Let's see how it looks tomorrow. But Fred has come through at some clutch times, my friend.
Yes.
And you know what? Brazil is going to be fun to watch.
Yes. Manny, what do you think? Do you think Fred will score the winning goal in the World Cup final?
It'll either be Casemiro or Anthony if you want a Manchester United player to do it, not Fred.
I thought you were gonna say Martinelli.
Martinelli, I like him. What a rough game.
Yeah. Jordan, big up fellas. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, mate. Hashim says, I love this World Cup. Great time for Chelsea to get injured players back. As long as you don't get injured players at the World Cup, mate, because you could get your injured players back and get 4 more. Jordan says, Ferran Torres scores for Spain. Yeah. And that's your soundbite from the final. The World Cup's going to be crazy, I think.
When we see who gets out of this round,
Yeah.
I think that's where it's really going to turn up another notch.
Yeah, and with big teams losing like Germany, Argentina, etc. Obviously, I suppose. Manny, I'm going to say this. Me and Ken were discussing this earlier. Germany are in obviously Spain's group, who have got Costa Rica and I forgot who beat Germany. Japan. So in the next round of fixtures, Japan's got Costa Rica, so I can see Japan winning that, and Germany have got Spain. Do you think that Germany are pretty much already out because of that?
Good question. A good question, and it looks as though they very well could be. I mean, their complacency against Japan pretty much was their downfall. And if they don't come up with a plan to nullify Spain's tiki-taka and heavy pressing, it could be Auf Wiedersehen, Deutschland.
Yeah, I mean, it could even be Japan beat Costa Rica, Germany beat Spain, and then Germany will win the group. Germany beat Costa Rica, Spain beat Japan, all 3 on 6 points. So it could be a crazy group.
Yeah, I mean, head-to-head record, goal difference, goals scored, goals conceded. Who knows what permutations could come into that? But listen, I mean, all I can say is that, again, with Germany, as with Argentina, they know what they have to do, but they definitely cannot afford to look too far ahead.
Yeah,
the match against Spain will... Yeah. I had Germany doing quite well in this tournament, but certainly this loss to Japan is a big shock to them. And so they are going to have to get their act together and make sure they beat Spain. Costa Rica... I don't know if I have much hope for them, but again, shocks can happen. And the same Japan team who overachieved against Germany can underachieve against Costa Rica. That's the way things are going. Yes. But having said that, by the second week, I think most of the teams will be more or less settled and well acclimatized, really. Acclimatization really should have been done a lot earlier, but then that's what you get when you have a situation where you finish a game in a midpoint in the season, go over to Qatar with no time to acclimatize, and you end up paying the price. It's stupid. And that is one of the reasons why FIFA really should be ashamed of themselves for the way they've conducted their business. First of all, whether it comes to, awarding Qatar the bid, or how they came up with this last-minute plan to have it in December because in summer it'll be just too damn hot. It's stupid, really.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna shoot now. Manny, as always, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Ken, how did your debut go? Did you think?
It was, you know what? I don't know how it went. I'll watch it back. I'm sure I will look and think of myself as a hot mess.
Cool, yeah.
Right?
Okay, Manny, if you want to tell people where we can find you.
You know what, Ken, let me tell you right now, I have a tendency to stammer or stutter a little bit. And so I've also been trying to catch up on my dinner by having some food over here. So I've been concentrating half on the food and half on the stream, but I have been multitasking well. So compared to you, if you call yourself a hot mess, I'm just a mess, a dirty, bigger mess. But, you know, I love coming on these streams. I love talking about football with like-minded fans of all ages. And it's good to get points across and have reasoned debates. And the reason why I'm happy to come on David's stream, despite being an Arsenal fan, is because he apparently respects the reason I bring to proceedings. I don't engage in banter because I believe that whatever banter you dish out will come back to you even bigger. So I keep my mouth shut and say, look, the season isn't over. We've got to continue what we're doing, and at the end, we can then begin the celebrations or the post-mortem. So
you never know. Now that Ronaldo's gone, Man United might go on and win the league.
Well, I mean, you beat Arsenal. If you beat us at the Emirates, you know,
Twice.
you could be on your way.
Twice. Beat you twice. The men.
I'm talking about the men. I mean, the women, obviously, I mean, they're doing well, but I'm focusing on the men for the moment because at least they're Arsenal top of the league.
Yeah.
But anyway, my socials. You can catch me on Twitter at Thangatherai1981. You can catch me on Instagram at MannyThangatherai1981. So that's my surname / full name and my year of birth. And you can catch me on several other channels on YouTube. Big up, of course, to the True Red Devils podcast and Munnsey Sports. I think it's changed now, hasn't it?
I'm not sure.
No, the name of Munnsey Sports has changed.
Yeah, I think he changed it. I don't know what he's changed it to. Sports Capital.
But anyway, yeah, Sports Capital, exactly. So big up to both your channels. And big up, of course, to Coach's Corner, Oris Talks Football, Del Boy Gunner TV, S. Featley TV, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV. Huge shout out to Up the Cherries in All Departments, a Bournemouth-based fan channel. We're doing a series called World Cup Cherries, where we analyze England and look at Bournemouth's connection with the World Cup. Do please catch that whenever you can. Apart from that, there's nothing much else for me to say. Thanks a lot, David, once again. Always a pleasure. True Red Devil, if I've ever seen one. Take care of yourselves. Have a good night. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
That's
for now.
Ken, if you want to tell people where we can find you quickly.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I got to start a new channel, but yeah, my channel's a little tied up in the mess over here right now, so not talking politics today.
Yeah.
So yeah, all is good. I will see everyone. I had a great time today. I hope to come back.
Ken, what's your Instagram name so people can find you?
The gloves are off 4.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody coming on. Thank you for the comments. Like, comment, smash the likes, everything, and see you soon. Thank you very much.
Take care.